Hey, welcome back to another video. In this one, we're going to talk about decoding company culture before you make an application, increasing your chances of being shortlisted, and also developing a stronger job search doing it. Okay, what do I mean by decoding company culture? I want you to imagine a world where you understand what you apply to every single time. And when you make an application, judging by the quality of your CV focused on company culture and your job search strategy being spoken about the culture itself to people who have decision making ability, therefore increasing people knowing that you're the right fit and increasing the chance of not just getting interviews, but meetings, recommendations, referrals, or just cross company referrals as well, which could be really useful. A lot of you don't know about that. So, decoding company culture. The first question is, what is company culture? A lot of people seem to feel like they know what it is. Company culture is, the vibe in the company. Yes and no. Vibe is one thing. You can have JP Morgan with a vibe. You can have Google with a vibe. You can have so many different companies that have cultures that have a quote unquote good vibe. Or when I speak to job seekers saying, hey, what culture are you looking for? Well, a good one. Well, I hope so, but that's not very specific. So, what is a company culture? Let me be really clear about like a non-technical, non-traditional version of what I think it is. Company culture is how you feel on Sunday evening going into work on Monday morning. Are you excited? Why are you excited? If you're not excited, let's say the company culture is toxic, you're probably not going to want to work on Monday morning. You're going to dread Sunday evening, and your weekend is completely flabbergastedly bad, all right? If that's a word. So, how you feel about the company itself on Sunday evening about going into work on Monday morning. Now, let's take that one step further. Do you like working with people? Is the culture meritocratic, meaning you like it because the more you do, the better it is, the more you career progress? Maybe it's employee centric. You feel like the company actually cares about you. And Sunday evening becomes exciting because tomorrow morning you're going to work and you're working for a company that cares about you, which is employee centricity. Maybe you want to work for a company that's making a positive impact. And that's client centricity. So it's a client centric company culture. Maybe it's traditional and hierarchical, and you like that because you feel like you need to be told what to do. If you're going in investment banking, there's no real other way than to join a hierarchical, traditional type of company culture. So that's one thing. Now, that's decoding it from a very human, I would say emotional perspective, which I think is stronger than a company saying, hey, we're a family. And by the way, quick disclaimer, if a company ever says we're a family, run a mile, because they would be the first to fire you if they have to. And especially with AI and especially with all these things happening, you do not want to join a company that's family. A company is not a family. A company is a well-oiled sports team, right? Everybody has their job. Family cultures, if you're working for a family business, great. And if you are part of a family that has a business, you're in a family culture, great. But if you're joining a company that says, hey, we're a family, run a mile, trust me. I've seen that happen many times and it does not end well in 99.9% of cases. But anyway, I digress. The reason for this video is decoding the company culture. So that's how you feel on a Sunday evening, about how you go into work on a Monday morning, and the why. So that will give you a good indication. If it's, again, employee centricity, they care about you to a degree. If it's customer centricity, they care about the customers. If it's meritocratic as a company culture, it's the better you do. If it's hierarchical, if it's traditional, if it's innovative, maybe you're a Google type of person. Maybe you want to work in AI and it's SaaS. So that company culture itself is a decoding of how you feel. Now, what would a company say? A company will tell you their culture is the collective sort of target to a company goal where everybody's working towards one common goal. And that's great. But let's be honest. Many companies right now are formed to create money. It's a financial incentive to have a company, depending on what the company it is. If it's an NGO or a nonprofit, that's a different kettle of fish. But just for companies, let's not kid ourselves. They're there to make money. You're there to make them money. They're going to pay you a salary. They're probably going to make money off of you doing the job, hence the salary being roughly 25 to 30% of what they're actually making from you. And that's why companies are there to give you that security, because they're taking that risk, but you're then allowing them to do that. Again, another video, but that's the company culture directive from a company perspective. Hey, the company culture is all of us as a collective working towards one common goal to achieve the goal of the company. And that makes sense, right? So you've got your own company culture, emotional gut feeling, and then you've got the company culture perspective from the company. Now, how do we decode this? I'd say decoding it from a gut feeling and understanding the company culture from the company perspective, combining those two things will give you a good chance to, and I've done a video on this before, ideal employer profile. So if you have an ideal employer profile, which is a list of companies that are a similar type of list. So let's say companies in the same industry, company with the same culture, companies with the same sort of market viewpoint of their product or service, right? So you have a list of companies that are the right fit for you. Now, if you've got a good understanding of the company culture you're looking for and the company culture from the company's perspective in terms of, hey, this is our goal, that will help you decode which companies you should focus on. Now, if you then know a list of companies, you will then make better applications. So stop applying mindlessly and aimlessly and hope for the best. That is not a strategy. I keep telling everyone, do not apply for 100 jobs and then hope that one will call you back. Not the case. Not going to happen that way. What's going to happen is if you develop a list of 50 companies that have a similar, if not identical company culture, and then you have one CV that is, or resume for our American friends, if you have one resume or one CV that's focused on that company culture, yes, you can optimize it using ChatGPT to a degree, but companies use AI to eliminate AI CVs. But if you have a company culture list and you decode it in this way and you just focus on that area, watch what happens in 7 days. You'll start to see more people coming back to you. And if you pepper a little bit of seasoning of networking on top of that, you will see people coming back to you. You can ask questions like, hey, the company culture as I've understood it is this. How would you explain it? What would be the company goal from a company culture perspective? The more responses you get, the more conversations you have, the more networking you do, the more applications you make that are shortlisted, that you will then be able to shortlist and generate more opportunities. By the way, quick disclaimer, sorry, my dog is in the background, literally making noise. Apologies. I try to do these videos with a one take, as you know. But anyway, that is the company decoding of culture prior to making applications. If you do this, you will make more applications shortlist to your favor. If you need a strategy, you want to work together, link below. You can literally connect with me on LinkedIn. You can also apply to the program for us to work together. We are very picky. We've got a couple of spots left for December, January, a lot more, but connect with me and let's work together. I'll see you on the next video.